Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Speak Up Sal. Today, we're going to be talking about the power of language. This is a topic that I find is super important. I feel like I talk about it a lot more in my day-to-day life now, especially when I'm trying to help some people. And yeah, I think this is something that everybody could benefit from. So, sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. I still don't have my office chair here yet. So, posture has been struggling. The back has been hurt, but my fiance is pregnant, so I can't complain about back pain. So I'm just stop talking. So a couple things off note before we get into it. I have a little reading that I wrote earlier today when I was inspired to do this episode, and then just want to talk about a couple things. So if the audio sounds a little bit different, I apologize. I'm going to be messing with it a little bit as we go because my microphone arm, the stand for it, broke in my backpack when I was traveling to do episodes. So I took my good microphone and put it on my newer microphone stand so that I can use this mic still because it picks up a lot more audio. So I'm going to do my best to be cautious of my volume and aware. So other than that, my hair is ridiculous. We've been having issues with our hot water. So I took like a kind of cold shower and then just let it dry and it all frizzed up. So I apologize. I look ridiculous. Whatever. Anyway, that is a good example of the power of language, okay? If I tell myself I look ridiculous, I'm going to feel ridiculous. If I tell myself I look great and I'm myself right now, I'm going to feel that way. So let's kind of get into that. All right. Here we go. The power of language refers to a significant influence and impact that language holds over individuals, societies, and the world at large. It encompasses the ability of language to shape perceptions, influence behavior, convey meaning, and bring about emotional, social, cultural, and political change. The power of language arises from its capacity to inspire, persuade, educate, connect, and transform. At its core, the power of language is rooted in its communicative strength. Language allows individuals to express their thoughts, ideas, emotions, and experiences, enabling effective communication and fostering understanding. Through language, people can share knowledge and exchange information and engage in meaningful dialogue, which is essential for cooperation and collaboration. Language also has the power to shape perceptions and influence beliefs. The choice of words, tone, and rhetoric device can sway opinions, trigger emotional responses, and shape how information is interpreted. Skilled communicators such as politicians, marketers, and media influencers understand and utilize the power of language to persuade and sway public opinion. Language plays a crucial role in constructing and maintaining social and cultural realities. It helps establish shared meanings, values, and norms within a community or society. Language carries the weight of history, traditions, and cultural heritage, contributing to the formation of identity and belonging. It enables individuals to persevere and transmit cultural knowledge, stories, and customs across generations. The power of language extends beyond individual interactions to broader social, political, and economic contexts. Language is a key tool in governance and legislation, shaping policies and laws that impact society. It is an instrumental, typo in my own writing. It is instrumental in political rhetoric, propaganda, and public discourse, influencing public opinion and mobilizing social movements. In the global economy, language plays a significant role in international trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. I am doing an episode of Power of Language, and I can barely read. So I apologize that my voice when I read is not too good. So I think I just gotta put this down. So we're gonna call it at that. I hope that was a little useful piece of information that I was writing earlier today. I think that's the first time I proofread it, apparently. So anyway, let's get into the points that I find important in this. So knowing the history of language is, has some importance to it. If you look at humans and other species as a whole, their whole existence, the exponential growth comes from the ability to communicate. That's when we as humans evolved so much more and so much quicker than before, we could communicate properly. Effectively, I should say. The next part I wanted to touch on a little bit was the emotional influence that comes behind language. Right? Like what you say has an emotional reaction. It can sway opinions, all these other things. So people need to understand that that's also what you say to yourself. So I would love to touch on this topic more with Chris again, but something he taught me is what you tell yourself is what you attract in a partner. So I believe that was in his relationship class that I took that he spoke of in the previous episode. But anyways, I noticed in my past, I did not feel like I was enough. And I would tell myself I'm not enough and I don't deserve this because of, blank, because of whatever, right? So my habit of speaking my feelings to myself too much kept me in that mind state and also attracted those type of people. If you tell yourself you're undeserving of love and that you're not good enough to be with the perfect person, that's exactly who you're going to attract. You're going to attract somebody who's not perfect for you, that doesn't make you feel enough, and so on and so forth. So changing your language in terms of what you want out of a relationship or what you put into a relationship is incredibly important to live healthy. So now I compare this, when I talk to my friends, like I feel the best I've ever felt. I as confident and as happy and as safe as I've ever been. And then Saria came into my life and I still feel that way, because she's an excellent partner, an incredible fiance. And I hope she's smiling if she listens or when she listens to it. I know she does. She's a good wifey. So yeah. So that's my little take on the power of language in terms of how it affects your like personal well-being and your relationships with other people. So I really hope anybody, if I help one person with this, when you go home and are feeling down on yourself, don't tell yourself it's your fault. Don't tell yourself that that's how you feel. Try and tell yourself of all the positive things that happen. Try and tell yourself what you have to look forward to tonight or tomorrow, like later or in the near future, I should say, or even the further future, later in life. I know I'm going to buy a house and eventually one day I'll retire. Those are the things I can tell myself. That's like, hey, it's a lot better than telling myself I did a shitty job at work today. Today sucked. The kids I was working with were a handful, whatever it is. Instead of, I don't want to say exaggerating, but verbalizing it like kind of into existence, just putting it out there into the energy makes you feel that. You're going to keep feeling the same feelings of your day at work if you talk about how bad it was all day. So there is that. Take that with you. So the little trick I have for power of language for that is, I bet you say this. Watch how much you say this. I still say it a ton, and I'm very aware of it. I have to go to work today. Yeah, everybody has to go to work today. It's required. If you have a job, you have to be there. But the word have, has such a negative connotation to it. You have to is like you're forced to. It's like your only option. If you wake up every day and say, I get to go to work, you're going to perform better at work. You're going to have a better day, even if nothing changed from the day before. So, just telling yourself that you get to do these things because life is a privilege. It makes it just a little bit easier to emotionally prepare for your day, if you will. I during the off season in my job teaching tennis, I don't work until later in the evening. So I had all day to be like, I have to go to work or I get to go to work. And the days I would tell myself I get to go to work and I get to go there and change kids' lives and teach them tennis and have a good time and keep myself in good physical shape, like that's such a positive in my life. It's probably why I'm like a big attribute to why I'm doing as well as I am right now. And I'm very happy about that. But yeah, some days I have to go to work. Getting up early on a Saturday or Sunday isn't always the most fun thing, but I get to do it. I get to make money teaching tennis and I get to come home and do a podcast. And then I get to come home and live with my wonderful fiance and soon our baby girl. So in today's society, especially with news, social media, we feed off negativity. We feed off trauma and disaster. And instead of being like, hey, we're very fortunate that that's not us, we sulk in the pain that we feel for them. So, obviously those things are sad. It's a totally human reaction, but just being aware of that and be like, hey, I get to wake up every day and sleep in an apartment. I have electricity, I have food and water and friends and a job. So it is a privilege. Life is a huge, huge privilege. And if you don't spend it positive, if you don't spend it living healthily, it's just, I just can't wrap my head around on how it's going to work well for you or for anybody. It's not a good headspace to be in. I spent a lot of time in my life stuck in that headspace of negativity and anger and hatred and just like comparison and envy. So I'm not saying it from a judgmental standpoint. I don't want anybody to feel like those emotions aren't valid. They are. Everyone feels them. But I just hope I can encourage somebody to try and change their attitude towards the things that are happening in their environment. So, yeah, it's a very, very prevalent episode in my life. I love talking about the power of language and just learning words that, I should try and take out of my vocabulary so that I feel better. It's a very interesting concept. I'm sure Chris could touch on this more, but the word take, we live in a take culture, and I don't want to talk too much about what he's taught me because he's so, so intelligent and could say it so much better than I could. And, he's really trying to start teaching these things to people. So really, when I do these episodes with him, all I want to do is listen. And, I hope you guys listen as well. And before we know it, he's going to have a great thing in front of him to teach us. So very, very exciting news. Very looking forward to it because he really, really helped me turn my life around. So yeah, thanks, Chris. So let me turn around a little bit, go back to it. Right before I started recording this, I heard like noises in the hallway. So I had to do a little audio check, and I decided to just sit here and pray for a second and also ask my cards what I could learn about the power of language. I drew one card, and I wish I did this on camera because it like really, really took me back for a second of how exactly what I wanted this card was. There's what I believe, I'll show you the deck. It's a little bit of a different one made by the same people. So it's 52 card deck, actually just made by Collet Baron Reed. And I should credit the artist in here too. Maybe I'll do that in the description. So the card I drew is number 15, Message in a Bottle. Okay, so already, just based on the imagery and the name of it, got a little bit about language. So, and you open it up, gives you some essential meanings. The first one is communication. It goes, a sign, a cledon, the ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker. Okay, I did not know that. I'll have to look into that sometime. Painting or pointing the way to your highest good. The oracle message is Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them, when you believe you will receive them, and when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as birds flying by, a logo on a truck, and a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today your message is this: Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. Relationship message is you can expect someone to favor you with positive news. This could be in the form of a letter, phone, call, or email. You are an intended receiver of this message. So stay open to what you learn. Only good will come out of it. In the end, the signs are all there. Prosperity message is you are on target with your purpose and your passion. You are coming into alignment with your destiny, and Spirit wants you to know that you're on the right track. Expect a call, a new opportunity, or a message from an old friend or business contact that will lead you closer to your dreams and greatest desires. Spirit has been listening to you. And finally, the protection message is, are you refusing to acknowledge the signs because you want things as you want them? Red flags are not pretty decorations for you to admire. They are warning for you. They are warning you. And finally, the protection message. Are you refusing to acknowledge the signs because you want things as you want them? Red flags are not pretty decorations for you to admire. They are warning you for a reason. If something doesn't sit right with you, trouble could be hiding in the bushes. Don't ignore the signs. Spirit always has your best interests at heart and will draw your attention to what you are overlooking. Man, that hit even harder than I thought it would reading it the second time. That is a very good card. Here you go. I'll show you guys again. I always love the artwork on these. Whoever does them, absolutely incredible. Such a talented person. And The fact that that card was solely about communication and being on the right path really ties together this episode so well. I don't have a ton to say, and I would love to touch on it again in the future and just kind of get an idea of what you guys think of a topic like this. Is this something you'd want to listen to? Would you want to talk to me about it off camera? And I'll always be here to communicate about previous episodes and discuss them. So, power of language, Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to touch on. I am expecting a call from somebody, and I would really, really laugh if my friend called me right now because I'm supposed to do an episode with them here soon while they're in town. And if that phone call happens while this camera is on, I'll probably lose my mind. So, yeah, power of language. Well, I'm glad that I get to do this podcast, and I get to go make myself dinner, and I get to go enjoy the rest of my Thursday night. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to chop this one up, hopefully get it by the end of the day. It is the 8th of June, 2023, so I'm going to get a little timestamp on this, so keep myself going. I'll be doing episodes this time next year. I'll be like June 8th, 2024. Yeah, speaking it into existence, the power of language. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate all your love and support so far. Till next time.